Albania was faced with a targeted and very sophisticated attack, which never happened in our history. This was not a usual cyber attack. This was a state-sponsored cyber attack, well-founded from Iran.
When we see a nation-state attack, I think what often differentiates it is it's not necessarily purely financially motivated. Oftentimes, we are seeing either a greater number of actors or just more sophisticated, larger number of tools being levied against the targeted entity with which they're trying to perpetuate their attack.
The severe and sophisticated state-sponsored attack basically had two methodologies used in that. It was a ransomware used as a decoy and then a wiper to totally destruct our digital environment.
On July 15th, the actual attack happened. They started targeting files, and it wasn't to disrupt the files, it was to take down the environment. So all of that ended up with the entire infrastructure coming down, and eAlbania was down.
The eAlbania portal helps facilitate services for public citizens, like schools, public hospital health records, prescriptions, properties, mortgages, marriage certificates. Everything is within that portal, right? Everyday citizens use that literally every day.
The citizens of Albania did not have access to healthcare. And at that point, I realized, wow, 3.8 million lives were at stake.
At the beginning we were worried because we know how ransomware can be and that we need to act quickly in order to block them from spreading everywhere. But when we later found out the endpoints that were affected of the systems, we got very concerned because we knew that something bigger than that was happening. Luckily, we managed to keep our cool and to follow all the standards and procedures in these cases.
Time was crucial, so we had to act quickly, following the protocols. We did isolate infrastructure and we shut down all the critical systems in order to avoid damage.
As an Albanian American, I felt this was personal to me. So the first thing I did was to handpick the best security experts at Microsoft, so Albania had the best of the best support for this crisis.
We brought in Microsoft Dart to make sure that we could expel the attacker. Then we brought the compromise recovery team in to start rebuilding the systems, and then our transformation team so we can plan on the future so they could be resilient.
So the FBI was really able to quickly deploy because we had our cyber assistant legal attaches in the region. We're collaborating with private sector groups, in particular Microsoft. We were able to have the conversations we needed to have, and that showed us that we needed more presence there so that we could enable the work that needed to be done. We sent a large contingent, and that included technical experts. It also included subject matter experts on where we thought attribution might be heading, and that included case agents as well as an intelligence analyst who is specialized in that field.
Microsoft Dart team started doing the investigation immediately, and then followed by boots on the ground the next day. Within 24 to 48 hours, we were able to do the investigation and do forensics and be able to assure Akshi that they could come back online with their critical services. After that, we worked with them to restore the rest of the services as we verified that those were safe to bring them back online.
Akshi first started with restoring all of the backups that they had of the critical services and getting everything secured before we were able to bring back eAlbania.
So once we knew that we had the attackers out of the environment and we had some monitoring capabilities in place, then we really had to start implementing some modern defenses, cloud capabilities that would offer us conditional access and self-healing.
A really big step for Akshi was transitioning from on-prem Exchange into Office 365. But also building up the Security Operations Center with tools like Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Endpoints, and Microsoft Sentinel. These tools quickly became their go-to for monitoring and gaining more insight of their environment.
I would definitely say that the best product from Microsoft Suite is Microsoft Sentinel. It allows us to have automatic alerts, automatic response, automatic controls, and it allows us to have artificial intelligence by using machine learning to better monitor and address everything that's happening in the network.
So when we had those alerts and signals and information flowing into Microsoft Sentinel, we could do a lot more. We had one nice portal that we could build dashboards on, different automation tool sets responding automatically so that it maybe isolate the device without the need of human interaction. The automation capabilities really enhance what the security team can do so they can focus on more hard problems to figure out and secure.
When we started to implement these new modernized security tools, we also started to train the staff on how to use these tools specifically. After that, we had more confidence that we had the right secured controls in place. Linda and her team worked for so many hours a day. They were doing the right things at the right time, which helped us tremendously in speeding things up.
It was an intense time. The technical challenges were massive. The environment was complex. 52 agencies scattered around the country, but that wasn't enough. We also had the political pressures that we were facing. We were facing extortion attacks. The group known in Albania as Homeland Justice had proclaimed the attack, and they had a website where they were threatening of what was to come.
We had this countdown timer where we had to make sure that they weren't going to do something. The threat actor kept stating that they were going to disclose information. We spent a lot of time trying to find evidence that they had this information, and we found no evidence.
We had done all the forensics, all the analysis. We didn't see any data, any basis for those claims, but still we were, do they have something we haven't seen? The timer ended and nothing happened. Obviously, they had nothing, just like we expected. It was an intense battle that I had not experienced before. When the Prime Minister of Albania cut diplomatic ties with Iran, he became my personal hero and honestly a hero amongst many cybersecurity professionals. I saw my LinkedIn and social feed blow up. This is the first in history that something like that had happened for an official to cut off diplomatic ties with a country due to a cybersecurity incident.
Having real-world geopolitical impacts to cyber events is rare. And in this case, the Prime Minister's decision to say, you attacked our networks and that had a real-world impact on our citizens, there has to be geopolitical consequences to this. It was so important because it demonstrated that cyber is not a low-level activity. It has a huge impact on everyday lives, and that it's important for creating the right types of cyber norms across the international sphere to know that you can't conduct these type of attacks without consequences. I was really proud that the FBI was able to help our ally in getting the information they needed to make the political decisions that they felt were necessary.
This month has been the most difficult in my life, but not only for me, for the whole staff of ACSI. Our team together has worked night and days, has worked in the weekend, and now we finally have the best 24/7 monitoring capabilities and the best modern tools to protect us.
It takes guts and courage to do the right thing, to be transparent, to ask for help. That allows organizations to move forward, to learn the lesson from what happened. And that's exactly what ACSI and the government of Albania have done.
They owned this problem in this crisis. They brought in the right experts. They did not hide anything, and they moved forward with a really practical, achievable, and resilient plan.
ACSI was able to recover in a matter of days because they were honest about what was going on their networks, and then they were willing to be open and partner with those that could provide assistance. It's pretty amazing to see that kind of global leadership in wanting to get this information out publicly and in wanting to ensure that there's the geopolitical consequences on these actors so that we're changing cyber norms internationally in a way in which it makes everybody safer.
With the great support of the US Embassy, the best security expert from Microsoft, and then right after from FBI Cyber and US Army, they physically deployed at our premises to join forces for the investigation. Within only 3 days, we brought back 1,118 e-services. And within 3 weeks, we brought back every e-service, every system in a secure way.
That moment when it came back online was the most impactful moment for all of us on site, where we could breathe again.
Most CISOs are not able to justify security costs until something bad happens. When something bad happens, then all eyes are on security. But the attackers are always evolving their tools and their techniques. So when you think about threat actors that are state-sponsored, they have lots of funds and time.
It's not just one piece, right? You can't just monitor. You can't just build a foundation. It really is working together and building that modernization track. Modernization is key for every type of government and every type of organization that we work with.
The process that we're going through is very important for Albania, and the digitalization is basically the future.
How you act towards these attacks and what you do afterwards is what really matters. Working with Microsoft Security Transformation and Modernization and other partners is already turning the crisis into opportunity and is already making our digital infrastructure stronger and untouchable.